About a minute early, but it's okay. It is 9:30 by most somebody's clock because everybody's a minute or so off. But anyway, good evening, guys, and welcome to Unapologetically Keith. I am Keith Belvin, Keith KL Belvin, and I am a crisis specialist. And so we are here. And as I have promised you, I am going to show up Monday and Wednesday and Friday from 9:30 to 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for tuning in. Now, as you see, you're watching me on Restream, which means we are streaming to YouTube, Periscope, and Facebook Live. And I asked for permission on LinkedIn, so you have to get permission to stream live. So I'm still waiting on the return from that, but we'll see. But I do have the other three platforms that I do have channels, so we'll see what happens. So again, thank you so much for joining me tonight. And if you were here on Monday, we talked about the 5 steps to, let me just give you tonight's title. Let me put that up for you. There we go. So tonight's title is 5 Steps to Cope with the Current Crisis, Part 2. But on Monday, we talked about Part 1. And I'm going to run down real quick, if you didn't tune in on Monday, of what those were. I'm going to run them down for you. It was check that you are physically safe, check that you are getting medical, psychological, or legal help. 3, stay physically active. 9, make sure that you keep pleasurable things in your life. And 10, check that you are eating well and getting enough sleep. So I'm going to give you 5 more. 1 or 2 of them kind of are connected to the other ones, but in my research, I wanted to make sure I brought something to the table for you. So that's actually what we're going to do. And if I miss anybody, if anybody submits something in the chat and I miss it, I will make sure I go back and read over all the comments and respond to you. So let's get into tonight. And 5 steps to cope with the current crisis, 5 ways to cope. And I really, and as a crisis specialist, let me say this, as a crisis specialist, what I am really trying to do during these very difficult times with the uprisings, with the police brutality, with COVID, is just to be able to present myself so everybody that's going through something has a way to have someone to speak to. I will post my information if you need to reach me to set up a discovery call with me, but I'll get to that later on. And I will be posting my information so you can get to it and you can see it, okay? So you won't have to worry about missing anything. And each of the steps will be posted so you can see those as we go along. So you don't, and because if you're like me, you almost go, what did he say? What did he say? And you're trying to write it down while I still listen. It will be posted on the screen. Should be right there. There we go. Should be right there on the bottom of the screen. So let's get this started with number 1. Okay, number 1 tonight of the 5 things that you should remember is your values. The deal with coping with your crisis is remember your values. And what that simply means is acting on our deepest priorities is one of the great benefits to make it through a crisis. If you are a person of high moral character, if you have high standards, if you have values, lean on those when you are in crisis because they will actually guide you on how to deal with what's going on. Because to have those things in place in your life means they came with an understanding. So if you're a person who you're not going to go out and commit crimes when you're feeling a certain way. You're not going to go out and treat people badly because that's not part of your moral code. Remember that. Lean on that because in crisis, you may actually start to say, I don't care and it doesn't matter. No, don't give in to that. If you're a person of high moral fortitude, hold on to that. That will be an anchor. And all of these are basically anchors. You use whichever one works for you. But all of them are ways for you to hold on and not slip into the negativity that a crisis can create, okay? So number 1 is remember your values, and it's very important. Okay, let's go on to number 2. Let me bring that one up for you, okay? Number 2 is try not to panic. And I know that's easier said than done, but it really is something that you have to keep in mind, is that you really should not panic. You really should allow yourself to get caught up in the crisis to the point that you start to, and as you see written here, fear and dismay heighten the negative situation. They do. Fear and a feeling of just, oh my God, everything is going wrong, heightens the negativity. And I don't know how many times I'm talking to somebody and they're already thinking way down the road and they're reacting to what they're thinking and not realizing that at the onset, they were wrong. So they're reacting to their own reaction. And it creates a gigantic dark hole that you climb down in, and it keeps getting deeper the more fearful and the more upset that you get. So we want to try to decrease the fear, decrease the dismay. So try not to panic. Try to stay as calm as possible. Try to focus on you, not the things going on around you. Focus on you. If you do those things, you're going to be okay. So again, I want to just say to anybody, hold on one second. Let me just check this here. If for any reason I can't now, I thought the chat might be up and I don't see. Okay. But anyway, and if you are on, hit me up with put a 1 in the chat room. Let me see if it comes up tonight. If you're watching from wherever you're watching, if you're watching from Periscope, if you're watching from Periscope, don't forget to hit that screen and give a brother some hearts. And if you're watching from Facebook or you're watching from YouTube, jump in the chat room and put up a number 1, put up a let me know you're here, say I'm here, throw your hand up, give me an emoji, anything that lets me know that you're here. Because again, I'm going to go back and read all of the comments if I do not see them. And again, this is a new platform, so I'm not going to bug out, but I want to make sure that I show up regardless of what happens. And so if something happens, as I say here, oh, there we go. Oh, Brother Gilchrist is, oh, there's one. Got one from Scotia. As long as I know one person on the chat room, so I appreciate that, Paul. Thank you so much. Glad to have you here. That let me know that the chat is working because I was playing around with it and I was like, oh, I want to be able to reach some of these folks here. Okay, so number 2, try not to panic. And again, it's easier said than done. You can control you. Don't let you slip away. Don't let the crisis pile on top of you to where you lose who you really are. Try not to panic. Okay. And if you're just tuning in, I am Keith K.L. Belvin, and I am a crisis specialist, and this is Unapologetically Keith, and we are talking about the 5 ways to cope with crisis, part 2. Okay. Moving on to number 3. Let me bring this up for you here. There we go. Distract yourself. Okay. Oh, I lost it. Sorry about that, guys. Oh, what's going on here? There we go. Distract yourself. Keep busy and amused. Vary your activities. Now, believe it or not, stay busy. Keep yourself amused. And you may go, how am I supposed to find amusement during a crisis? Believe it or not, it's out there. There's always some comedic videos that you can watch. There's always someone that you can call that's always joking and laughing. Vary it up and switch up your activities. So this way you have to focus on the activity which can take your mind off of the crisis. As you heard me say before, and I talked about sex. Sex is a great way to take your mind off the crisis. And I know you may be like, now you done said sex two different nights. Yes, because believe it or not, it gives off endorphins that helps the body to relax, male or female. And creating different activities is a great way to help get your mind distracted. Just there's so many things to do in the world that even though things may be happening around you, and I want to give you this with the current crisis, the uprisings, and I call them uprisings. They're not riots to me. The COVID situation, as well as the police brutality. They're all negative, except for the uprising. I think they're positive. But if you're getting twisted into what you're seeing, disconnect. Disconnect from the TV, and that's a way to distract yourself. But understand this, you cannot control the COVID situation. So don't drive yourself crazy. Keep you safe. You can't control police brutality except for keeping yourself safe. But you can make sure that you do the things necessary when you leave the house to try to avoid it the best you can. And as for the uprisings, if you are out and part of the uprisings, just be careful. Just be careful. But if you choose not to, don't feel bad. Do what you can from where you are. Me, what I offer towards Uprising is I'm working on mental health. I'm working on that. Every one of those people who are out there on those streets, everyone that is watching whatever on TV is going to need somebody to help them with mental health. That's what I'm offering. This is how I'm protesting, is that I'm not going to allow the system to affect the people that I love and the people that I watch that look like me and our allies to feel mentally that something is destroying them. So that's what I do. So number 3, distract yourself. Okay, let's go on to number 4, guys. All right. And again, thank you for joining. I am Keith K.L. Belvin, crisis specialist, and you are watching Unapologetically Keith. And the name came from because I'm not apologizing for being me. That's it. There's no super magic behind the name. Is that I'm not apologizing for being who I am. I'm not apologizing for being a Christian. I'm not apologizing for being a black father. I'm not apologizing for being a former whore. Did I say that? If you have not read my book, From Gigolo to Jesus, read it and you will understand why I just said what I said. But I'm not apologizing for being who I am. I'm who I am, and with no apologies. That's where the show comes from. Okay, so number 4. And men, please pay attention to number 4. Take care of yourself. I had to learn this one, and I am in the process of working hard to get smaller. I've tackled pretty much all of the mountains in my life except for being a big guy. That's an ongoing fight. That's a struggle, but I'm okay. I meet it head on and I do what I do. But number 4, take care of yourself. Now is not the time to stop exercising or giving in to cravings. Very important. In crisis situations, when things seem like it's getting away from you, we will shut things down. We will stop going to the gym. We will stop going for the walks. Oh, yes, without question, brother. That's a great point. And let me just bring that up so you can see that what Paul just said. Paul just said, and I put it up on the screens because y'all may not have access to the chat rooms in every one of the chat rooms. But I wanted to show you what Paul just said because that is extremely important. Great point, Paul. Paul said, embracing who you are is part of healing without question. Because one of the things that I do when people reach out, I'll have wives that'll say, can you talk to my husband? The answer is always yes. Yes, I can. But my retort is, does your husband want to talk to me? Is your husband ready to deal with whatever you see is wrong? Because if not, then I don't know how I'm going to reach him if he's not ready to embrace what's going on with him. And as Brother Paul just mentioned, when you embrace who you are, meaning if you're in crisis, that's okay. That's what a specialist is for. My job is to find a way to help you out of that. But you first have to admit that you are in that negative place. And it's very difficult because as men, many of us, especially men of color, are taught not to give in to our emotions. We're taught to feel no pain. We're taught to be Iron Men. We're taught to say everything's okay. From when we're boys, where actually many of us are taught not to cry. And if we're taught not to cry, what are we supposed to do when we weren't taught how to embrace our emotions? Hence, we don't embrace when we're feeling negative. And dudes will turn to their brothers and say, yo, man, just how you feeling today? I'm high. And if a brother's really paying close attention, they'll say, but you good? Everything okay? Then he might say something. Now, depending on how close we are to our women, if we have one, we will share with our lady that we're not feeling. We'll say, I'm not feeling. That's a problem. We have to admit certain things to ourselves, guys. So, and Paul, thank you so much. That was great. And ladies, y'all go to the doctor. Something ain't right. Something ain't feeling right. Something ain't in place. Y'all go to the doctor, get checked out. But here's what I learned with women in counseling. Often you let things go too far before you then reach out and say, I need somebody to talk to. When you start feeling that pit of depression showing up, when that hole starts to spread out and you find yourself getting deeper and you have a lot of weight on your back, and sisters are carrying a lot of weight, not that brothers aren't, but it just seems like sisters almost have to be super women just to make it. Not that brothers don't. I think actually both. But one of the things I find with ladies is they'll ask for help, but sometimes way too late. Come earlier. Come sit down with me and let's head that off. Come sit with me and let's figure out how to keep that hole from widening. Let's stop it where it is, get you back upright. And brothers, stop spending your time talking about who's better, LeBron or Jordan, when you're not right. And like I said, if you look at number 4, take care of yourself. Often we spend so much time discussing other people that we don't look in the mirror and say, where am I needed? And that's where I was. I actually just said tonight, I got to get more sleep. I was up last couple weeks. I've been up a little too late, and I've noticed that and I chart my sleep between my Fitbit and my CPAP machine. I make sure. And I got a CPAP machine simply because I wasn't snoring, but I was just feeling run down. And I was like, oh, I'm working too hard. No, I had sleep apnea. And I had to go get checked out, and I did. And I was so glad because once I started wearing my CPAP, but here's the better thing is a while back, I asked somebody, well, I put out on social media, how many people are wearing CPAP machines? I had no idea so many brothers and sisters were wearing CPAP machines. But I can tell you what, not only did it help clear up my head and make me feel better, it helped me to realize that changes have to be made. But I also didn't know this, that it's not just connected to big folks, that a lot of ordinary folks, and I say ordinary folks meaning smaller people, were dealing with breathing issues while sleeping as well. And I've been doing some research on it. So I'm down 32. Yeah, I think I'm down 32 pounds. I haven't checked. I'm not tied to no scale, but I got a long way to go. But I always pat myself on the back for heading in the right direction. And yeah, when I have a bad eating day, I don't beat myself up. I just go, okay, yeah, it got away from me today. I get myself together and we go from there. But again, I'm begging you, if you're watching this, please take care of yourself, especially during these times, especially during this situation right here, because the weather's getting warmer and it's going to feel like this coronavirus is not there. Don't fall for that. The heat helps suppress the virus, but it hasn't disappeared. And come fall, I'm a little nervous of what that may look like, but just be careful. And with the other things, I'm going to go to the next one, which you'll see, number 5, which will help with some of that, but just take care of yourself. And again, don't be scared to reach out and ask for help. Okay, let's slide down here. Number 5, I'm going through these pretty quick tonight. So, all right, here we go. Nope, wrong one. Let me slide down. Sorry about that, guys. There we go. Number 5. Very, very important one for me. Okay? Engage in positive thinking, meditation, or prayer. We must endeavor to accept disappointment and allow our thoughts to slow and move to a better place. And that actually should be slow down. Forgot the down. But this one, number 5, to me, is the most important one if I was going to rank them. I really didn't. When I was doing my research, I had 5 from the other day and I had another 5. So I really didn't rank them. But this one is extremely important because we tend to allow the negative thoughts to grab hold, and then they just keep reproducing negative thoughts. And guys, as a fitness and nutrition specialist in counseling, my purpose is to find client limiting factors. Okay. Lots of times people don't, and I'm just reading what Paul is saying right here. I'll read it to you and then let me see what we got here. As a fitness and nutrition specialist in counseling, my purpose is to find a client limiting factor. Okay, got you. And then lots of times people don't realize what's holding them back. So true, Paul. So true. And that's a great point. Let me throw that up for you guys in case so you can see this on the screen, what Paul just said. Paul said lots of times people don't realize what's holding them back. That is right on point, Paul, because I find that when I'm listening, and you didn't hire me to be a cheerleader. You hired me to help figure out what the crisis is and to come up with a way to handle that. And right now I do family therapy as well. So I deal with children who are in crisis. I'm doing crisis therapy as well. And one of the things that I'm trying to explain to parents is your child has to take ownership of their behavior. So I'm going to need your help. And oh my God, you know how many parents just don't want to consider what role they play in their child's behavior? So they want me to come through the door and fix their child, but they don't want to come have me fix them. And I always say I go through you to help your child because I got to give you skills that you can use once I'm gone. But Paul just made a great point there. Lots of times people don't realize what's holding them back. And it's so true because, and it goes back to what I was saying about the negative thoughts. If you don't address those negative thoughts, they can run away from you. Let me just bring that back up again. They can run away from you quickly. They can run away so quickly that you look up and you're worse off and you don't know how you got there. Now, the other parts of that, meditation and prayer. If you are not a spiritual person, like I am a man of God, yes, and I am an ordained minister. Yes, I am. I'm an ordained minister. But if you are not a spiritual person, and that's if you're not a religious person, okay. But meditation is a fantastic way to slow the world down. It is a great way to get internal, look inside yourself, settle things down, take your thoughts, place them in a great place, breathe, and allow the negative energy to escape. You can actually push that negative energy out with good meditation. Meditation also allows you to start the healing process inside the body because you slow things down. Your system slow down. You can control it. You can control your heart rate. You can bring those things to an even pace and allow yourself, but it takes practice. And the best one there is prayer. I pray often and I pray daily. I pray for people. I pray with people. And I do have a Bible study group. So if that's something that you're interested in, just hit me up. I'll send you an invite to the Bible study group. And it's real simple. I put up a weekly study scripture for folks to study. And it gives folks a home if they want to ask for prayer or they just want to ask some questions. It's not overwhelming. And it's not one of those online groups where if you don't post, you get deleted. I don't understand how you're going to force anybody to do anything. It's not what I do. But I do pray a lot. And the reason why is because my faith in things that are not seen. Oh, thank you, Paul. Yes, God really is the answer. And that's what it is for me. And thank you, Paul. I'm glad we're in lockstep there because as a Christian, and as I said, I don't apologize for being a Christian. I don't care who gets offended by me being a Christian. That's your choice. What I do not do is try to beat you over the head with my Bible and try to make you into a Christian. Not my thing, never has been. I have issues when churches try it. I simply show you what I do with my faith. And if that interests you, then I'm always open to talk about it. But prayer activates my faith. And through prayer, I am able to slow things down because through prayer, it then leads me back to my Bible or sometimes from my Bible to prayer. But either way, my Bible acts as a guide for me to find things that I might be missing. So that's my way of staying even kiltered, even though you may say, but how can you believe in some God you can't see? That is for you to figure out. I don't have to answer that. It works for me. And when I read the Bible and I see the things that I read, and then I'm able to internalize that, and then I take my time to meditate on what I just read, and then I get into prayer, I am able to deal with the crisis around me, as well as to help other people deal with theirs. And that's extremely important in these very, very difficult and desperate times. But the reason why I wrote it like that is because positive thinking, you don't have to be connected to any organization, any religious group, any spiritual group, just to think positive. Meditation, again, there are many forms of meditation. You have to practice the one that works for you. But it works, proven, scientifically proven. And here's an interesting thing about prayer, and I always find this interesting. Do you know that prayer is actually something that doctors will tell you to do? Because there is proof, tangible proof, that prayer works. You don't have to believe me, do the research. You'll hear some doctors say it's in God's hands now. And because there are times that they have seen that people who pray, they have seen recoveries where doctors say they can't explain it. Now, you don't have to believe it, but you just have to understand that that's an option for you. So Paul says, my Bible reading and music meditation every morning for me is everything. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Say that right there, Paul. And that's another thing too, guys. Don't get it twisted. Some of us are morning folks. Some of us are night folks. If you notice, Unapologetically Keith starts at 9:30 at night because I am a night owl. That is why I'm having to force myself to go to sleep. Paul just said his Bible reading, music, and meditation every morning. My grandmother, God bless her soul, and I would love to have her back, but that's a different story for another night, read her Bible every night before she went to bed. But every morning at 5 to 5:30, she got up, locked herself in the kitchen, and spent time with God reading her Bible every morning. You couldn't get in the kitchen to get no breakfast because we had those like French doors. She would actually lock them, and she would be in there studying her Bible. But here's the funny thing: it's 1984, 1985, 1984-85 school year. I lived in South Jersey after messing up here in New York. Oh, I mean Delaware when I lived in New York. My great grandmother, I got to spend a year with her. She did the same thing, so I got to see where my grandmother got it from. My great grandmother, even though she was being cared for, would not go to bed, would not close her eyes and go to sleep until my uncle read the word to her. And every morning when she woke up like, and she was 92 at the time. Every morning that she woke up had to be around 6 o'clock in the morning. She had to have the Bible read to her before she even allowed her feet to touch the floor. She would call out. She would not get out of bed until my uncle read the word to her. And that was every day until she passed. She was 90, 98, I believe, when she passed 6 years later. So I believe prayer works. But if you're not the religious type, meditation is fantastic, and positive thinking. And you can connect the positive thinking and meditation together. I do want to tell you that. So as we get ready to come to an end, and Paul, thank you so much, bro. I appreciate your assistance in bringing me along the way because you've offered some great things. Here's the thing, guys. I want to share this with you as well. If you want to set up a free call with me and we can connect, here's the information that you need, bit.ly/Coach Keith. You go to the link. You'll be able to click on my calendar. You set up a free call. Doesn't cost you anything. And we can sit down and try to figure out if I am the person to help you deal with whatever you're dealing with. All I ask is that when you reach out, be serious. Don't waste my time, because the time I waste with you is time I can spend with somebody who's really in need. But I'm here for you. And if you're interested in joining my Bible study group, reach out. You can always just send me a message in my inbox if you're on Facebook. On Facebook, it's Keith K.L. Belvin. I'm on Instagram, it's Keith K.L. Belvin. Twitter, Keith K.L. Belvin. You're getting the drift. Just look for me as Keith K.L. Belvin. You'll find me and reach out. If you want to purchase my books can be found at bravenpublishing.com. Actually, if you go to bit.ly/Coach Keith, it'll be on my website. You can actually just click on the other links on the website and you will see my bookstore there, and my books are there. From Gigolo to Jesus, Lukewarm Saint, Man in Transition, which is poetry. I was saved from the Bronx streets. So through my experiences, I know God saves. Amen. And I was saved from those Brooklyn and South Jamaica streets, Paul. So I definitely understand. And I was born in 40 Project, South Jamaica, Queens. And I taught in Canarsie, Bed-Stuy, taught in Harlem. I spent 22 years teaching, 20 years in the New York City Department of Education before I came here to Delaware for the last 4. So again, guys, thank you so much. It has been a pleasure, Paul. I appreciate you. Reach out. We could definitely link up and talk, see what we can do. But if you need to reach out to me, guys, set up a free call with me or just reach out and talk. I'm here. Join me on any of my social media pages. I am here to help you. And remember this. We can fix this. And I mean that. We can really fix this. I believe that. And let me just bring that up real quick here. My little logo thing here. Where is it at? There we go. Oh, there we go. And it is, oh, hold on a second. There we go. And to set up a discovery call, there it is right there. And there's my hashtag, we can fix this. And I'm going to tell you why that's important to me. I believe that. I honestly believe that you and I, and you and whoever, but we as a people can fix whatever's wrong with us. I honestly believe that. And that's why I created that hashtag, is because I honestly believe if people would start to come together, and so I'm trying to live by example. I'm not going to ask you or tell you that I believe in something I'm not doing. I believe that if people can come together, then we can actually fix the things that's wrong. And I'm going to lead by example. That's what I do. So I am here to help you with any crisis that you're with. So here's what I'm going to ask you before I go, excuse me. Like this, share this, and I want you to support me. How can you support me? Easily. Let folks know who I am. Or you can set up a counseling session with me, or you can purchase one of my books. But like this, share this, support, and I'll do the rest because it is my job to show up. And this is what I'm doing. I'll see you Friday night, 9:30. We'll be here. I don't know what the subject's going to be. We'll see going into the weekend, but Friday night, 9:30, Unapologetically Keith. It has been a pleasure to be in front of you. God bless. Please be safe. Please be safe. And remember this, we can fix this. Have a wonderful night, guys. God bless. Paul, thank you so much. Take care. Have a good one. God bless.